I know you hate to write, but please reply soon.
Putsy, you're silly when you're irrational. I asked you to marry me a long time ago, and I want to now as much as ever. It's just we don't have to run off immediately. I can finish down here, and then you can marry a doctor, just the way your parents planned the day the little princess was born. My mother is my mother. She's writing me heartfelt letters as if I were away at camp. She's worried about my health and my career and my suffering from your illness. I'll quote my favorite parts if you promise to be amused, not upset.
Arlene should be satisfied with the status of engagement instead of marriage, because in such a marriage you're not getting any of the pleasures of marriage, but only the severe burden.
I'm surprised the marriage you contemplate is not unlawful. It ought to be.
Well, since I doubt you sincerely want to marry Arlene, I think you're merely just trying to please her, just as you used to eat spinach to please me.
I never ate spinach to please her. I ate it to avoid her ire, which is entirely different. See you soon for graduation. P.S. Unlike spinach, I like the taste of you. After receiving my Ph.D., I borrowed a friend's station wagon, put some mattresses carefully in the back, and prepared my Putsy for our honeymoon voyage. We slipped away from Long Island, sailed the ferry past the Statue of Liberty in New York, my New York, and married on Staten Island. Husband and wife.
Arthur, look at this. Mail tampering. I could have stayed in Roma for this. Is it not enough I have to learn silly secret names, surrender my camera and binoculars, have FBI block my shortwave radio, nuts to them and everyone else?
I'm sorry.
No privacy for physicists, no privacy for Italians, no privacy for war workers. If I am trusted to work at MetLab, why not trusted with mail? No rain, no snow, no sleet, no hail, and still no mail.
Maybe General Groves can
Oh,
fix it.
Groves! Maybe he already fixed it. Professor, do not walk by yourself in the evening. And Professor, do not drive to Argonne Lab without an escort. He calls scientists expensive crackpots. We call him big-headed idiot. I leave New York to work for what? The Manhattan Project.
Enrico,
No, I'm
please.
sorry, not the Manhattan Project, the Manhattan Engineering District. Laura was right, I'm treated like an engineer.
Buck up, man.
I'm sorry, Arthur. I'm becoming a monster.
It's all the stress. The building delays at Argonne, the meetings.
I prefer to work alone. Control every detail personally. If I am meticulous enough, I can control the results. I would rather do the physics than pontificate about it.
Enrico, you are the chairman of the Tube Alloy Committee. You have to attend meetings, read reports, write others, offer sage advice, guide the neophytes, placate the mandarins, spur everybody on. The Argonne carpenters decided to call a strike.
And I'm behind schedule already.
Can you wait a few more weeks to begin?
Can the war wait a few more weeks to end?
What do you recommend?
That I build the pile here.
On campus?
Yes,
You're insane.
it can be done safely.
My administration said we would turn the university inside out to win this war. They didn't say they would turn it upside down. What if the pile blows up?
It will not. I will build the pile up in incremental steps, taking the throw rods at even smaller steps.
Think of our wives. My brother told my mother, if you hear that Chicago is blown up, you'll know that Arthur's experiment was a big success.
Segre told Laura, don't worry about becoming a widow. If Enrico blows up, you will too.
Enrico, we can't do this so close to the loop. Think of all the other families.
I have. How many of them have sons in Europe, Africa, the Pacific?
President Hutchins should decide.
Oh, he understands neutrons.
Less than our wives, but university protocol.
I planned a controlled chain reaction, Arthur. I'll put a suicide squad on top of the pile to douse it with cadmium sulfate solutions in the event of an emergency.
Who'd you draft for that?
graduate students.
Where are you going to fit 300 tons of graphite?
350, plus 40 of uranium oxide, plus 6 of uranium metal. You can secure help moving it? University footballers, perhaps, monsters of the Midway.
Hutchins abolished the team. You know what he told students who believe that academic excellence is compatible with athletic strength?
Enroll at Northwestern?
Nuts! Where would you put the pile?
Stag Field.
That's the middle of campus.
Under the stands, Arthur. The squash courts.
When would it be ready?
It depends on when President Hutchins decides to start.
And if I decide?
Well, then, you would disprove my theory that handsomeness is inversely proportional to intelligence.
When would it be ready, Professor?
1 month, Professor.
You'd finish by year's end?
We'd work 2 teams, a day shift and a night shift.
You're the coach, Enrico. Make sure none of the players gets hurt. None of the spectators either. It's critical.
I hope it will be.
The Princeton team grew to 30. The isotron was supposed to vaporize and ionize chunks of uranium. As it moved through the magnetic field, the 235 and 238 would accelerate differently. And is anybody paying attention to this? Anybody really paying attention to the details? Okay. Let's just say it was complicated. Then it was shut down. Another approach was supported instead at Berkeley. We all took it pretty hard. I mean, there was nothing to do. Then we heard rumor of a secret lab for secret work in a secret place. You sure this is the best place to build a lab, Oppenheimer?
No, General Groves, not at all. Which is why I brought you here. It's your decision after all.
You damn straight.
And I thought with all your experience, you'd be able to make the right choice.
Affirmative.
Still, there's a lot to recommend it.
What's the biggest problem you foresee?
Relocating 20-some homesteaders,
Mexicans.
mostly.
That's the biggest problem you foresee.
There's also the Los Alamos Ranch School, assuming they're willing to sell.
Oppenheimer doesn't matter a good goddamn what they're willing.
They've been here 25 years. Parents who enroll their sons are plenty rich.
So is government. It condemns whatever it wants. Picks it up for a price. This Los Alamos has possibilities.
Your guidelines emphasize that, General.
For safety, Oppenheimer. I don't want anyone adversely affected by unforeseen results.
We're 35 miles from Santa Fe.
What will the prima donnas think?
There's no opera nearby.
I'm talking about your people, the scientists, long hairs. Largest collection of eggheads I ever saw.
They know there's a war on, General, and the foreign ones have a personal stake. They've been closer to the front than me or you.
I didn't volunteer for this assignment, Oppenheimer.
You've told me that, General.
That Pentagon I built is the world's largest office building.
You've told me that,
and
too.
And when it opens, it will be ahead of schedule
And under budget. So you've said.
Affirmative. And we'll have to build an entire town. Roads, electricity, telephone lines, water towers.
The Rio Grande.
What about over here?
Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The blood of Christ. Bandelier National Monument. Ancient ruins of Pueblo Indians. Cliff dwellings that date back 1,000 years.
How many workers you need now?
250.
You sure?
Well, sure.
You see, first, I heard it was a nucleus of 6 scientists plus technicians for
Yes,
services.
but...
Then it was 30 scientists for 3 months.
Well, it's much clearer now that we need...
Now I hear a scientific team of 150.
250 should be enough.
Figure 300,000 for construction. We'll need dormitories, offices, labs.
Classrooms.
I thought they already had PhDs.
Yes, but some have children.
Children?
Even scientists put their slide rules up now and again.
Yeah, and I hope the Chicago boys don't ease up on their slide rules.
Enrico's working non-stop.
That thing he's building better work.
It's an experiment, General. And theory has propounded
Theory
that...
shit. We need results. If it fails, we won't need a lab here or anywhere else.
I'm quite sure the thing will work, General.
You seem so damn contented, Oppenheimer.
I used to spend summers on a ranch over there. But I never thought I'd be able to combine the two things I loved most all year round.
Namely?
Physics and the desert.
New Mexico is a beautiful country. I'll grant you that.
The land of enchantment.
They gave me an orientation
They
sheet.
gave me an orientation.
Orientation. Goody, let's hear.
Answers to questions.
Let's start with housing.
What it says about housing?
2 and 4 family units.
Tenements.
Single rooms for bachelors and bachelorettes.
Bachelorette.
3, 4, and 6 bedroom apartments for families.
Housing assigned on family size.
Heat.
Hot air.
Electricity.
Yes.
Furnishing.
Shelves and cots.
Cots.
Kitchen table and chair.
Electric refrigerator.
Rent.
Pro rata salary.
Sounds like socialism.
Utilities.
Pro rata of salary.
Or socialism. Mates.
For occasional help, depending on need.
Workers from nearby Mexican villages and Indian pueblos.
Laundry.
Public.
Small charge.
Pro rata.
Hospital.
Run by doctors.
Universal coverage.
Cost.
Free to everyone.
From socialism to communism.
Location.
P.O. Box 1663.
Sandoval County Road.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
USA.
That's
not
reassuring.
reassuring.
When will we go?
In
Right
the
away.
USA.
Why would we go?
Can't
Can't
say.
say.
What an adventure.
We've had enough adventure.
It's like heading west in covered wagons.
To study the intimate secrets of Mother Nature.
Living outside New York for a change.
I've lived too many places to change.
There's no kids to hold us back.
Think about the kids.
It's great for your career.
Bad for La Familia.
Let's go, right now.
Let's not go, Enrico. Ti prego.
No. Not yet.
I'll just stay in that hospital instead of this one.
It's not that simple, Arlene. The altitude's lots higher there. It's lots harder to breathe.
My head will be as light as the rest of me.
It'll be too hard on your lungs.
Well, what is the game plan, Coach?
Oppie found a sanitarium in Albuquerque. He's worried about your tuberculosis.
And how far will I be from your magic mountain?
100 miles? But I'll hitchhike down every weekend. Honest Injun.
I'm ready, partner.
Giddy up. December 2nd, 1942. The Allies await a German counteroffensive in Africa. In the Pacific, the Marines battle at Guadalcanal. On the home front, gas rationing continues its second day. But in Chicago, the Bears remain undefeated. Down on the Midway, Enrico Fermi and his team are poised as well.
Zip up safety run, Wally. Herb, same for you. Duration rise from 600 to 1200 per minute.